What's up, y'all? Welcome back, man. It's your boy D-Friend. Back for another episode of D-Friend Daily, episode number 106. Got a couple things to talk about. I'm not going to be here for very long, probably about 40 minutes. We got about 6-7 topics that I do want to barrel through and talk about. Not too much music discussion today. No really major big album came out that I feel like I needed to rush, listen to it, talk about it. So we'll table that for possibly Monday. I'll go over the week and listen to whatever music. So a lot of things to get into today. We got Kanye West's petition to get him canceled from Gap, Coachella, things of that nature. We got the trans swimmer that won the NCAA championship. But before we get, let's get to the intro, man. All right, so the first thing I do want to talk about is related to a musician, not about music though. And when I saw the story, I was like, damn, tragic, it's sad, because you never want to see children have to grow up without one of their parents. So Young Thug, his baby mother's been shot and killed, right? And I probably wouldn't have spoke about it. I probably would have did like a little condolences, because it's a sad story. But when I read the story, it just got me into that mindset, like, why are there people that are like this that walk the earth that we all walk on? So this is the story. I'm gonna read it for you. So Young Thug's baby mother shot and killed over a bowling alley argument. An argument over a bowling ball reportedly escalated into a tragic murder of a 31-year-old woman on Thursday night in Atlanta. The victim has been identified as Lakevia Jackson, who's also the mother of at least one of Young Thug's 6 children. According to CBS 46, Jackson was shot and killed outside of Atlanta's Metro Fun Center as she was leaving a best friend's birthday party shortly after 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jackson reportedly was involved in an argument over a bowling ball. Hold on, this nigga going crazy. Anyways, I didn't know this was going to be my last time I talked to my baby. Her mother, Sharina Jackson, told CBS 46 of the tragedy. I could hear her over the phone crying and screaming that her best friend said she's not breathing. So this is his baby mother, 31 years old, shot. So the guy apparently got into the argument with her at the bowling alley. I don't know how in-depth the argument was. I don't know what she said. It doesn't really matter what she said. She could have called him a bitch. She could have called him a hoe, you this, you that, whatever. It does not matter what she said to him. Because there's no way we should be killing people over arguments over bowling balls. Like I said, the only time you should really be killing somebody is in real self-defense. And if you're just in that rage where somebody did something to your family, I mean, I can see why you would do that. But how mad do you have to be to get an argument about a bowling ball in a bowling alley and then go outside and wait for 20 minutes? Like, you would think by the time you go out and wait, you might be like, you know what? Because you got time to think about what you're about to do. You got time to think about you about to ruin your life and ruin somebody else's. You got time to think about shit like that. But nah, instead, I'm so mad I'm going to go wait 20 minutes. As soon as she walk outside, I'm lighting her ass up. And that's what the shooter did. So the Atlanta Police Department is still actively looking for the shooter, and no arrest in the case has been made as of press time. This is truly an atrocity. Atlanta Police Department Ralph Woolfolk added, a young lady has lost her life over a bowling ball. We talk about conflict resolution time and time again. This is an escalated dispute, so we will work this case through the night and we'll find the person responsible. I mean, and I don't know Young Thug. So I'm just going off what I hear. People talk about interviews. People say, and I don't know, maybe he don't like his baby mama, but I would assume he likes his baby mama, especially for his kids. If they don't find him, I'm sure Young Thug is going to find him. I always say this, when street shit happens, I feel like the people in the streets, they know who did it. They know when they did it. They know why they did it. So if the police don't find him, probably this guy would probably just end up dead. Like, let's just keep it honest. That's what it's going to be. Why the fuck we got Stephen A in the building? I know it's not really Stephen A. But anyways, I saw that. Prayers, condolences to, her family, Young Thug, his daughter, because, you don't want to go through the rest of your life, especially at a young age. I'm sure it's a young child without your mother. And like I said, I see people shoot people I saw a story in my city 2 weeks ago. They had a shootout because the guy cut him off in line at a drive-thru. Hey, I'm next up to the box, whatever. I'm driving up slow, and the guy just gets in front of me. Shootout. Killed. Over a spot in the drive-thru. That's why, road rage, I know you might get mad at somebody swerve you out, but you don't know who you're getting into that altercation with. you probably as the same person, you're not ready to die about the road rage incident, but you might be a little mad about it. Those people that you argue with, they might be ready to die about it. So I would just taper off the road rage incidents in that case, right? So anyways, prayers and condolences. So, we've been talking about Kanye West for the past, I don't even know what it is, 3 weeks at this point. Everything he's done, everything he said, how I feel about it, what I think about it, everything. But now, it seems like in the age that we are in, people are now trying to take it to the next level. Like with me, I could critique Kanye. Like I could just say, hey, he's doing this. I think XYZ about it without me feeling like, okay, he did this. I think he needs everything taken away from him. Like, I don't think that. I just, hey, get on here. You say how you feel. He did this. I don't like this. I do like this. That's it. He move on with his life. I move on with my life, whatever. But now, people are doing what people do in these times, and they've created a petition telling Coachella that they need to get Kanye West out of here. So, petition calls for Kanye West to be removed from Coachella. The public often attempts to mobilize in order to enact some form of change, and this time thousands of people have set their sights on Kanye West. The billionaire rapper has been the subject of headlines for decades as he is known for unfiltered commentary on all things pop culture. West is one of the most celebrated musicians in the world, with accomplishments that no one else will ever match, but his split with Kim Kardashian has resulted in mixed reactions from the public. Someone decided to launch a change.org petition where they openly called for West to be removed from Coachella lineup. The rapper set the headline in the California Festival following his recent remarks about Pete Davidson, Trevor Noah, and D.L. Hughley. Over 4,000 people have signed the petition. The fact that, I don't know, maybe it's 4,000 people. Some people are trolling. Some people don't really care. They're just doing it for the meme. Because to me, it's like a meme. Like, cancel Kanye West from Coachella because he's being mean to X, Y, and Z people. So, the petition states this. We have watched Kanye harass, manipulate, and hurt Kim, Pete, and others for over a year now. Now, I might be amiss or remiss to the other. I don't remember it being a year. I could have swore Kanye just started talking about Pete Davidson in 2022. I could be wrong, but I remember like starting like this year within the past like a month and a half, not an entire year. So anyways, no one seems to stand up to him, and the ones that do, he puts under fire as well. Now, I can agree with that. Anybody who comments about him, he on their ass next. Most recently, he's been threatening actual bodily harm on others. This is ridiculous that he is allowed to freely do this. Coachella, along with other brands' names that are still working with him, which would most likely be, Gap and, Adidas and things of that nature, should be ashamed of themselves and should not be giving him any more of a platform. Please sign and share. So meanwhile, West was reportedly suspended from Instagram for 24 hours after his most recent post. Many of his supporters have contested the decision, including West. I read that shit yesterday about the game. So this is the next level that it goes to. They're trying to get Kanye West up out of here. They're trying to take him off Coachella, which I don't know if Kanye would care about or not. Possibly, maybe. He's supposed to perform on Sunday. Maybe he's got like a whole Sunday service-esque thing planned that he wants to do on Coachella that would be, stifled if this happened. But I don't see that happening whatsoever. I don't see Coachella being like, you know what? Kanye has been mean to Pete. He has threatened D.L. Hughley. He did call Trevor Noah a coon. So you know what? That's enough for us to say, you know what? We're going to take him off the bill. But I always say with hip hop, that's a slippery slope, because especially in hip hop, like overwhelmingly in hip hop, you can always point to certain artists and be like, well, if that's the case, if him just saying that is we could take him off, then this guy actually does X, Y, and Z. We should take him off. So like I said, it's always a slippery slope when it comes to petitioning to take certain artists off, leave them on, especially when it comes to the hip hop genre. As I go back to when we spoke about people trying to take out DaBaby for his comments, but other people are allowed to do X, Y, and Z. Same thing I saw on YouTube yesterday, or I saw Academics post on his page, but it's on YouTube trending. There's a guy named like Lil Zay Osama, and his title of his song is called like "Fuck You Cousin." Like literally, the title on YouTube is "Fuck You Cousin," and it's trending. I could put a post about, not even, let me just say, a bigger YouTuber who could probably get trending could talk about something like we're going to talk about today, like the trans swimmer, and they'll be demonetized, pushed to the bottom of the thing. But he can say, fuck your cousin, rap about killing people, show imagery of killing people, it gets promoted to the top. But whatever, I digress. Let me read some of the comments. So Stephen A. Smith says the Kardashians drove him to insanity. He couldn't handle not having a wife who wouldn't listen to him. I mean, like I saw somebody else comment. Kanye West has been having his mental health struggle. I know it's easy to put blame on the Kardashians, but I wouldn't solely blame them. So Kanye's an icon. He broke the barrier to artists to get a Nike deal in fashion in general. I will concede to you on that one. He was mental health long before them. Was unheard of to get a shoe deal before Kanye was just specifically for sports players. Kanye don't care. He raps for the love and fans now. He don't need to check for it. No more he be on rap. He on mogul level. And then try the photographers they did to the baby. Was Kanye West the first person to get a shoe deal? Like didn't Jay? Like I could be wrong. But I'm saying did like G-Unit have shoes with like was it Reebok? Like they weren't to the level of Kanye West obviously, but didn't rappers already have shoes before Kanye got his shoe deal? I know G-Unit had their own shoe. I think Jay-Z had his own shoe, but didn't other rappers already have their own shoe before Kanye West had a shoe? I could be wrong, but that's what I remember. So yeah, when it comes to Coachella shit, yeah, I think Birdman, he was with Lugs. You know, like I said, they're not as popular, obviously. Like, oh, you're going to compare Lugs to Nike Red Octobers, but, you know, I'm just saying shoe deal in general. But anyways, I don't think Kanye West has done enough to be dropped, canceled, or, like, even to be petitioned. Especially when maybe Coachella, they might bend, you know, who knows? I doubt it, but, you know, maybe they could. But when we're talking like big brands, when we're talking about Gap, when we're talking about Adidas especially, they're not dropping Kanye for mean Instagram posts. Now, if he actually does something, if he attacks Kim, like actually physically, that'd be different. And it really hasn't even said anything attackatory towards Kim as far as physical violence. Yeah, I can see how you like leave me alone. I get that. But like I said, he made $250 million last year, according to Forbes hip hop, whatever list. He probably dispute that. He probably say he made more than that, but that's what they're reporting. Which to me would mean he gets royalties of probably like $200 million from Adidas, which means they probably make over $1 billion off Yeezy. Which to me, they're not going to drop them over a couple of mean posts about some people that you may like. And also, it's just privilege. Petition is like privilege. Like they want to see like powerful people be taken down, because I do think at the end they do make them feel good. Like, damn, look, we got the giant. We bent him down to the knee. Kanye won't apologize, but, you know, Coachella do their thing and do it like that. The Game had a shoe. And G-Unit was to the level of Kanye. Yeah, I'm saying, like, I mean, the shoe wasn't, but G-Unit was like superstar level at that time, right? Kanye about to pull up. He ain't gonna do that. He ain't gonna do that. Out of all Kanye's like gripes and his social media posts and his, you know, him just being all over the place, I think that's the last thing that Kanye West would do. Like I think he'll let it all go before he get to that point. Like, yeah, he got mental health problems, you know, he's working with him, dealing with him. But I think to that level, to that extent of going out like OJ, I just don't think that that's the level Kanye West would go. So, I ain't gonna lie, I was debating speaking about this topic that we're about to cover right now. Because when you speak about it, people like to box you into a certain narrative when it comes to this. Like, in today's society, people assume that if something happens with a certain group, a certain identity or whatever, if you go against a person that's a part of a certain group, that means you hate this entire group or you hate this person's identity and you want these people gone from the planet Earth, right? So I've talked about the transgender swimmer from UPenn, University of Pennsylvania, I think it's UPenn, dominating women's swimming after spending time on the male college swim team. And that's very important to me. You spent time, you were good enough to make it onto the male college team. So in my mind, once you transition to a female, you're gonna dominate. Boy, ain't that about a bitch. Look, they're trying to stop me, man. They're trying to stop me from talking about it. But anyways, like I was saying, if you dominate, and not even dominate, because she, my bad, didn't dominate the men when they were a man. They were ranked 500 in something. Let's look at the numbers real quick, and then we'll get into them winning the national championship. So, just how much of an advantage does Leah Thomas possess over biological females? These numbers paint a clear picture. The fact that the University of Pennsylvania swimmer has soared from a mid 500 ranking. They were ranked 500 when Leah Thomas was still competing with the men, to now being a top-ranked swimmer in women's competition. To the story of unfairness, which is unfolding in the NCAA level. Now, I just had a daughter recently, and see, that's the thing. Try to photography. That's the thing. I don't care what people want to be called, what they want to do. I don't care. Like, that's not my life. If you want to be called she, you think, like, that's fine. But I feel like I can also not care about what you do with your life, because that's what the thing is with these conversations. Like, if you have this conversation, I'm saying what I'm saying, people automatically think like, oh, you're against trans, whatever. I don't care about you like that. That's you. Live your life. I don't give a damn. So I don't want to, if Leah Thomas wants to be called she, I'll call her she, because I don't give a fuck. It don't got nothing to do with me. But when we get to competition, it's different from just being like, hey, we want to exist. I want to be respected. I'll give you the respect because, like I said, you live your life. I think anybody live your life how you want to live it. I don't care if you want to be a hoe. I don't care if you want to be a this. I do not care. Until it starts affecting me, I do not care. But when you think about when it comes to sports, biological men will always have an advantage over biological women, especially when at some point I practice this sport, right? It's not like Leah Thomas was a person sitting on their couch and they just decided, hey, I'm going to go swim. A lot of biological men can't just get up and swim against the women in a 1500 event and beat them because we don't have the stamina, we don't have the training, we don't have all these qualifications. But you were competing with the men in college, then transition to competing with women and then destroying them. So this is the picture, right? This is at the podium. First place, Leah Thomas. Second place, I forgot what this young lady's name was. And then salute to the lady from Texas, UT all the way. Third place. If Leah Thomas was not swimming, which I do not think that they should be able to do, due to the fact that they were swimming literally a couple years ago with the men, this person would have got first place. I believe they said this person that got second place was a freshman. Could you imagine? Freshman swimmer from XYZ school makes history, wins NCAA national championship. And then there's this picture. Now, some people say, I don't know if this picture's real. It looks real to me. It doesn't look too photoshopped. But this tells you something. They might not be silently, they might silently be talking to each other about it. But this, like, they're kind of like, look, I feel like they're making like, hey, we're the real 1, 2, 3. And Leah Thomas obviously has an unfair advantage. Even the size and the length, like, I know swimming is about aerodynamics and this, but like the arms are longer, the feet are bigger, like everything is different. That would lead to you having that advantage. Like I said, it ain't like just me getting up and like, I'm gonna go swim the 1500 at the NCAA championships and I'm gonna win. No, I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna be dead probably the first 100 meters, and then they're just gonna smoke me. We're talking about somebody who competed in college with the men, albeit they weren't the greatest, but that just shows you that someone could be a 500th ranked collegiate athlete as a male and then go swim with the women and take home a title. If that's not unfair, I don't know what is. This doesn't mean like, if you want to be trans, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. It has nothing to do with me. I don't think you should have less rights. I don't think you should be ostracized on the streets. I don't think any of that. But when it comes to athletics, who's going to stand up for the biological females in that aspect? Literally, we talked about it on the podcast. There were 2 women in Africa who were biological females that were banned from competing in the Olympics because naturally they had not even because they took steroids, they took whatever, just naturally they had a higher, I don't know if it was testosterone level, they had a higher something than what's allowed. But naturally, not because they took something. But then you let the transgender weightlifter, it's like, come on, what are we talking about here? So here's some reactions, to the tournament. So, oh no, it was the 500. I said the 1500. It was the 500. So, social media erupted in criticism after Penn swimmer Leah Thomas, a biological male who identifies as a female, crushed the competition on Thursday evening, taking first in the NCAA Women's Swimming Championship, 500-yard freestyle. Thomas competed against males before switching over to women's sports after identifying as a woman. The athlete has dominated in the women's space. All the best, this is like comments from people, right? So Ben Shapiro says all the best women are men. Joanna Man is a documentary. If you support this, you're actively participating in willfully destruction of women's sports and women's rights to fairness and equality. Like I said, I could have this conversation about being fair to women without, denigrating Leah Thomas as a human being. I don't have to do that. One moment. All right, we back. But it's like, come on. Like even like, who was it? Was it Time that just did it? Time magazine did like Woman of the Year, and they made it Biden's admiral of some health thing that's a transgender woman. It's like, and if women speak out, they get destroyed. Look at J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling was speaking out. She was getting killed. They was trying to get her out the paint. But, I mean, Caitlyn Jenner, who's a trans woman, obviously was formerly Bruce Jenner, Olympic athlete, said it's not right. And, that's a trans woman that is acknowledging that it is not fair to biological females. That a biological male, albeit though you transition, is now competing with them at the highest levels and beating them. I said it in the high school. We had the trans girls that was beating the young girls in high school. I was like, you got to think, if there's two trans girls beating biological females. Imagine if you go to state and you knock me out of those 2 spots. You put me to 4th or 5th, and I could have went to state. I could have got a scholarship. I could have got X, Y, and Z, but now I can't do that because you took my spot. I'm thinking about those people, because if that was me, I'd be upset. And I'm sure they're upset. They're just, they don't want to speak out because of whatever. They're going to get, people are going to give them backlash. They're going to give them hell. They're going to do whatever. Oh, you hate trans people. You hate this, yada, yada, yada. They told Joe Rogan he hated trans people because Joe Rogan said that there should not be a trans woman fighting biological females in MMA. Like fist fighting. Like, come on. You can't even say that? Not saying you shouldn't exist. You're going to go to hell. Not even saying none of that shit. Just saying, hey, I don't think you should be competing against biological women. That's plain and simple. That's like sweet, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So let me read some of y'all comments real quick because I know y'all got some shit to say. I'm about to go play for the WNBA and win about 10 NBA finals straight. Now he's right the first time. Boxers might as well do the same. The weirdo shit is crazy. This is a real life hack. You going to get the feminists going at you with that logic. They believe women are equal to men in sports. Think they could compete with a lot of men. Well, like I said, that's another realm of idiocracy. If there's feminists, like biological women feminists that think that they can compete against men in sports, they're insane. We've seen the little studies. We've seen the little they're not even experiments, but we've seen it, like a youth soccer team beating the women's national soccer team. We've seen them get beat. We've seen the story about the guy who was ranked 300 in men's tennis destroying Serena Williams while smoking a cigarette or whatever he was doing. We've seen these things. We know they can't compete. There's not nothing down to them. It's just biology. It's just genetics. I'm sure, and I could be wrong about this, but I'm sure if I trained with a woman's shot put, At me right now, just give me like 4 months, I could probably be an Olympic woman shot put if I was to transition. I need to look at the distances and really check real quick. But I feel like if I get that 8-pound ball, whatever 10-pound ball they use, I can probably, you know what? I'm a woman. And go in there and become an Olympic champion. So if there are women that actually think that they can compete in men's sports, they're wild. When it affects me or other people is when I have a problem. We need to stop the narrative that we can't call someone by their actual gender because we're afraid to offend them. I'm not afraid to offend. I just don't care enough to, not call you that. That's what you want to be called. Like, I don't care. I just don't want to see people get destroyed because of like a slip up or this or that. Even if they don't want to call you that, that's their preference. They could do what they want to do. Now, there's a difference from like just saying, hey, I'd rather just call you he than she because in my opinion, I don't feel like that's, the way. There's a difference in doing that and then like just completely disrespect somebody, calling them evil, monstrosity, whatever like that. Like that. There's a difference because at the end of the day, people are human. Everybody's got their shit. Everybody do what they want to do. Everybody has feelings. Everybody has whatever. Like there's levels, in my opinion, and differences when it comes to stuff like that. Stephen A says he's weirdly aroused. Look at the knees. It's crazy. They need to take hormone supplements, I think, for a year or two straight and test their one level and have to be on the average that women have, and probably wrong, but something along those lines. All this stupid to me. They kill JK every 5 months. I mean, they do. They get JK Rowling out of here every couple months. Whenever she said they got out of here like a week ago. It wasn't even 5 months ago. It was a week ago they said something to JK Rowling and got her up out of here. So, yeah, man, I don't know. It's just like that Fred, like I don't know what Leah Thomas, like, not age, but I don't know like what their classification. I don't know, junior, senior, sophomore, freshman, whatever. I think they're like maybe a junior or senior. But I just look at that girl that got second place, right? I look at this chick that got second place, and it's like, you would be first place. You would be able to notch off that, hey, I was an NCAA national champion as a freshman. Can't do that no more. And homegirl from Texas, she can at least say, I was second place. And then that's when you get this picture where I think this person at the end was in fourth place. At least you would have been third and on the main podium, but now you got knocked down to fourth. But at the end of the day, if they don't say nothing for themselves, we can be on Instagram and YouTube and whatever, like, hey, man, that's not right. Come on. We clearly see it's unfair advantage. Why is this happening? What's going on here? But until they speak up for themselves, ain't nothing really going to change. Because who the fuck am I? I don't swim. I don't have a daughter that swim. Even if I was a parent that was coming out, unless the athletes speak, if the athletes just willfully go out there and compete and lose every time, then that's on them. So anyways, I wanted to get into media shit because I usually put big media lies. Right, we're gonna talk about that Biden laptop shit in a second because to me that's like a blockbuster. That's like a blockbuster story. Just the way that social media ran it, just the way social media was banning people for talking about it. But I want to talk about this because I just saw this today. So y'all know I rock with Joe Rogan. Everybody, people was killing me because I was quote unquote defending him for saying the N-word, whatever. But then I saw this today. From The Simpsons, right? The Simpsons made an episode where Homer gets canceled. And then he met up with someone that looked like, obviously, Joe Rogan. So The Simpsons is dividing critics after spoofing controversial podcast host Joe Rogan in a brand new episode, satirizing cancel culture. In the divisive season 33, salute to them for being season 33, though. I ain't gonna, that's a long time to be running the show. You won't believe what this episode is about. Act 3 will shock you. Homer is erroneously blamed for leaving the family dog named Santa's little helper in a hot car, resulting in him being publicly shamed. Things really got off the rails when the Simpsons patriarch tries to apologize and inadvertently knocks Reverend Lovejoy out of the church window. Videos of the fiasco subsequently go viral on social media, causing Homer to lose his job and become ostracized by his friends, coworkers, and family. So obviously this is Joe Rogan, right? On the sign of the door says right wing podcast house, pariahs welcome. These aren't like glowing terms, especially the way that the word right wing is used to like knock people down and to get people to not want to hear what you got to say. And pariahs, obviously, you don't want to be called a pariah because that's just like, Eventually, the donut gobbler meets up with the Joe Rogan doppelganger. The commentator is never explicitly mentioned by name, but he's represented by a generic right-wing podcast host who was the only one willing to meet with Homer following his cancellation, which pretty much says Joe Rogan will pretty much meet with anybody, no matter, their own personal circumstances. And I just saw that, and I was like, it's just crazy how that narrative still, like, maybe they made this episode around the time when all the COVID stuff was going on, when they were trying to kill Joe Rogan and get Joe Rogan out of here and send him to wherever they wanted to send him to. But it does look like an out of touch, trying to pander to a certain audience, demographic. I don't know if the Simpsons know this or not. Their audience is probably still old people. I think you mean Matt Groening. Maybe you had a typo. Old people probably on the right side. So they might look like, who the fuck is they think that they're not talking to these young kids on TikTok that get mad about everything and they go cry and they whine, they complain, they do this, do that. You don't have those people watching your show. So to me, it's just crazy. Like, even when I watch this guy, what's his name? The British guy. I saw he made a video about it. Russell Brand. Now, like, how now media is trying to paint him as a conspiracy theorist, of this, of that. Just those terms are used to get people not to listen to you. Now, that's not to say there aren't people who are conspiracy theorists. There are people that do conspiracy theory. We know that. People love conspiracy. I talk about it all the time. People love a good conspiracy theory. But sometimes you got to watch certain people and see what they're saying, especially when they're just reading back to you other articles or news, giving slight opinions that are being called out for being conspiracy theorists because it doesn't go with whatever the mainstream people want them to be pushing, right? So you see that with Joe Rogan, obviously right-wing podcast house. You see that with the Russell Brand shit that he's going through right now by being called a wild conspiracy theorist, the next Joe Rogan, the this, the that. And if we think about a guy like Joe Rogan, like literally if you watch his episode, he literally just had on Mr. Beast, which was a fantastic episode. As far as you want to be inspired to create, watch an interview with Mr. Beast, and he'll get you ready to come out and create. He will, I promise you. And then he literally had on like a yogi instructor, Sanjadan. I think that's his name. I'm probably butchering his name, but he's a yoga instructor that is peace and love, not right wing, not whatever. But Joe Rogan had a couple people on that they didn't like, so they destroyed him for it. They tried to get him out of here. They pulled out the N-word tape on him, tried to get him out of here. It's clear tactics that, like, you can just see a tactic when you see a tactic. It's a clear tactic. It's clear as day. And even when I think about another instance when media is trying to, like, push down creators, the Nelk Boys and Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel, obviously, late night host, probably making millions of dollars. And the Nelk Boys, social media superstars. They did an interview with Trump that got deleted from YouTube because obviously Trump was talking about election stuff and YouTube don't play that because they that is what essentially led to what happened in January 6th. So they deleted the whole episode. But my thought process was that when I saw they could delete it, like, at this point, bro, who cares about that? Trump can say that a million times. I don't think him saying that affects anything at this point. You either believe it or you don't believe it. That's at the end of the day. Because people that when they hear him say that, he's been saying that when he was the president. They already believe that. They either went to January 6th, they didn't, they hate the government, they do this, they do that, whatever. But to pull an entire Nelk Boy episode, an hour episode, for about a 2 minute, maybe not even 2 minute, a 1 to 2 minute conversation out of an hour thing, rather than saying, hey guys, I don't want to delete your video, I don't want to take you down, but hey, can you just trim this clip out? Now, they could say no or not, and YouTube would do what they want to do, but I wonder if they was even given that option. But to bring it back to Jimmy Kimmel was like these small, these YouTuber guys who do weird stuff. They got self-branding, they got seltzer. Like, he's pretty much trying to diminish who and what they are because they have on a figure that he and his conglomerate do not like. When if you really think about it, the Nelk Boys are like ginormous. They're huge. Like, when I saw that interview of them and Trump go live, like they were premiering it on YouTube, the shit got 100,000, probably even more at the point whenever I stopped watching it, but 100,000 live watchers at that time. You would think That's bigger than you. I know in the old media, they're scared of YouTube. They're scared of social media people. They're scared of online content creators. They try to diminish it. Like, that's not the real, broadcasters. We're the real broadcasters. We're backed by ABC, NBC, Universal, whoever. We're the real media. We give you guys the truth. That's why they bash down on YouTubers. That's why they clamp down on all these. That's why they do these things. But in reality, when it comes to views, a lot of online content creators are the ones that are driving the conversation. So people that are online, or people that are like Jimmy Kimmel, they don't drive the conversation. They don't create the conversation. The conversation is created online, and then they react to the conversation that's been created online. Point blank period. That's how it is. So they're on the way out. New guys are on the way in. They're like the guy who's got to try to kick the people that are down on the way out the door. And that's essentially what he did to the Nug Boys on his show, obviously because they had Donald Trump on, and nobody wants to hear Donald Trump speak whatsoever at all. So let me take a quick pause for the cause real quick. All right. So, anyways, the last thing I want to talk about was this article. Can y'all hear me? Yeah, I can see it. Okay, this article that came out that now confirms, and I don't even really get into this deep politics shit like that. I do sometimes, but I remember when the Hunter Biden laptop shit like first dropped, right? And people was like, "Oh my God, this could spell the end for Biden." Conservatives really pushing it. And then once it got picked up by the other side, by the New York Times, labeled the New York Post, they're lying. The laptop story is fake. Well, she wasn't press secretary then, but the now press secretary Psaki was saying it's a Russian disinformation campaign, yada, yada, yada. But then now, almost a year later, now they're like, well, it is real. It did happen. And if you don't know what was on the laptop, from what I saw, there's emails and messages from family and other people about business dealings and how Hunter Biden was using, his dad's political, obviously his political juice to go out, procure money, procure jobs just based off nepotism of his dad being who his dad is, right? So, Psaki was grilled about it, which is, like I said, Biden's press secretary, his press secretary. The White House was asked on Thursday about Hunter Biden's laptop reporting, about which was done by the New York Post in the lead up to the 2020 presidential election. That reporting showed the involvement between Joe Biden and his son, business dealings in Ukraine. And it's just how ironic that now Ukraine, Russia, we're trying to help Ukraine, yada, yada, yada. It just all comes full circle at the end of the day. So in October 2020, Press Secretary Jen Psaki claimed that the information on the laptop was Russian disinfo. And she was asked about this tweet by a reporter. You also in October, this is what the reporter asked. You also in October 2020 dismissed it as Russian disinformation. Do you stand by that assessment? She went on to say, I point you to the Department of Justice, Hunter Biden's representatives. I'm a spokesperson for the United States. He does not work for the government. So here's her tweet saying that Hunter Biden's story is Russian disinfo. Dozens of former intel officials were saying. So The New York Times has authenticated emails that appear to have come from a laptop abandoned by Hunter Biden in Delaware. Another report began. The president previously said that the New York Post story about this was a bunch of garbage and that it was a Russian plant. Does he stand by this assessment? When she went on to also say that, he doesn't work for the government, as somebody else. So the New York Post editorial board on Thursday published an op-ed issuing scathing remarks that the New York Times, after the paper decided more than a year that their post-bombshell reporting about Hunter Biden's business woes were worthy of a story, that they finally know that the Biden laptop is legitimate. The New York Times article ran on Wednesday and concerned the federal investigation, Hunter Biden, and his tax liabilities. And this is where like the Hunter Biden shit, it is what it is. People use nepotism all the time to get money, favor, politics, that's life. For us to go at Hunter Biden for doing that, it's like, bro, every rich person uses who they are to progress their family in life. Whether it's shady or not, it happens. So I don't really care too much about that. Maybe I should. People could probably argue me or lecture me on why I should care about that. But my point of this is what I'm about to read. So President Biden, Psaki, big tech companies, and media outlets all claim that the laptop was fake, a Russian plot, or hacked. The Post reporting on that matter was suppressed, censored, and in many cases, outlets ran stories on why they would not report on the revelations rather than report on the facts themselves as presented by the Post. The reporting made connection between Biden and his son's business dealings, though Biden had repeatedly said that he was not involved. So Biden lied. He tried to get it out of there. Social media companies, if I'm not wrong, social media companies were banning people for talking about it. Let me see. Twitter ban over Hunter Biden laptop. Like, I know they was like censoring things. They would say, "Hey, you can't talk about this." Yeah, see, this is a article from the New York Post from 2021. FEC defends Twitter over Hunter Biden's censorship in a decision based on lies. The Federal Election Commission has decided Twitter violated no election laws when it censored the New York Post reporting on Hunter Biden's laptop ahead of the 2020 election. Of course, the news was leaked to the New York Times, likely by a Democratic member of the FEC staff, so that it could be treated with maximum scorn. The Times reported sneeringly begins that the Post article was unsubstantiated, which is bull. The Biden team never denied that the laptop is real. Hunter Biden later told CBS coyly that the laptop could be his. It's just like we see these things like this happen over and over and over again. And it kind of like people like just turn a blind eye to it. Like with me, when I first really got into this shit was when I saw the Rittenhouse shit. Like at first, I like media, everybody lies, they both lied. I'm sure Fox News, all them motherfuckers, they lie about shit too. But the thing about the people that are on the left, the shit just be so blatant. Like it gets exposed so out in the open and it feels like nobody talks about it. At all, whatsoever. Oh, the Hunter Biden laptop thing is real? We on to the next thing. Kyle Rittenhouse, white supremacist, he killed people, he did this. Well, he did kill people, but he's this, he's that, he's that. These guys who he killed are Black Lives Matter lovers, they love black people, and just let a people that love black people be murdered by a white man. All lies. Joe Rogan, ivermectin, Aaron Rodgers, ivermectin, kill, destroy. Kyrie Irving, destroy. Nicki Minaj, destroy. It's like, god damn. Even, like, I don't think the leftists are after Kanye West now, today, but even Kanye, when he was on his big Trump thing wearing the MAGA hat, kill, destroy. And it's like, y'all should be getting called out all the time. And it be in unison. Don't just be like one network says it, everybody else kind of shake on it. Be like, everybody says the same thing. 5 months later, it's exposed that wasn't true. I think immediate, if you don't know, you should just say you don't know. Just say you don't know. But you're definitively telling people this is what this is. Twitter's banning people for speaking about it. I believe even YouTube was kind of like flagging people that were discussing it. And then now that comes out that it's true, what happens retroactively? Should everybody be unbanned who spoke about it? Should YouTube lift any demonetization or whatever for people who spoke about it? I believe so. Honestly, you got to think about it like this. I feel like there should be lawsuits in place for people that make money on YouTube. If I make money on YouTube and I say I was big on the Hunter laptop shit when it came out and I was silenced, whatever, about the laptop, and then I missed out on months of ad revenue because of that. I thought there should be I should be able to like you know how like you can like baby daddy, baby mama shit, the baby daddy didn't pay no money, you got like back child support. I should get like back AdSense pay for all the videos that I wasn't able to monetize due to me talking about something that y'all said was wrong, but now it comes out that it's true. That's what I think. So let me read some of these comments and I'm gonna get up out of here. Isn't Hunter Biden a crackhead? I believe he was a guy who partaked in the recreational coke and crack type of drug. So Joe Hidden definitely not getting a second term. Neither will. Well, I didn't think that they would. Joe Biden was going to win a second term, anyways. Even if this didn't come out, I still didn't see that was going to be a thing. All of a sudden, everyone talks about crackheads. Shit used to be unheard of. Enough to subliminal diss and sneak diss and just be blunt. Stop cowarding. Everyone talks about crackheads. I don't get it. Stephen A. I don't get it. The media is on the left side. Celebrities need to be on the left as well. So F Trevor Noah. I've been trying to tell you this, but you're not. But my thing is like you're not telling me nothing I don't know. When it comes to Kanye West and the Kim Kardashian shit, I don't think politics is like he's trying to. This is the difference. When Kanye West talks politics, they will come after him, but they're not gonna just come after Kanye at any point, anytime, just because of whatever. And when Trevor Noah spoke about Kanye, like you can say F Trevor Noah, but when you think about what Trevor Noah actually said. What did he say about Kanye that was so scathing? Like that was like was something like what to like the level of you would say like a D.L. Hughley said or Steve Harvey saying that he thinks D.L. Hughley could beat up. Like I don't think he said nothing bad. It's just hey, you're doing X, Y, and Z. I have a critique about what you did. I think anybody should be allowed to have a critique if it's a valid critique. Now, like I said, when it's just some shit like this where it's clearly you're for this side, you're faking shit. But the Kim Kardashian shit has nothing to do with politics. That's what I said. When Kanye was Trump, MAGA, I can see why politics would play a role. This situation with Kim, that's pop culture shit. Trevor Noah's pop culture shit. He's going to talk about that, especially. And I don't think because at some point Kanye was on the Trump side is the reason why they have a problem with what he's doing. I think you can just look at it and be like, what he's doing is wild, regardless of what side. Maybe that's just me that looks at it like that, because I don't give a fuck. I just look at that objectively as what it is, and I think the shit that he was doing was wild. Albeit maybe he had some solid points. Like I get the TikTok shit, and I want your kid on TikTok. I get all that, but the way he was doing everything, that shit looked wild. Regardless of what political spectrum that Kanye even allowed. Is Kanye West even like a Republican? Is he like like hey, I am a Republican or I am a conservative, or is he just Kanye? So YouTube needs to stay out of it. Let YouTube be unfiltered and unrated. They ain't gonna do that. They can't do that. They got advertisers. Like this is an ad game. They're not gonna just be able to do whatever they want to do. Trevor been talking about Ye for years. I mean, Kanye's yeah. Of course they're gonna like this. The Kanye is Kanye. Of course they're gonna talk about Kanye West whenever Kanye does anything. So I mean, I would assume they're gonna talk about him. Like Kanye's openly said like, "Hey, my name is Kanye West and I'm a conservative," or does he just say certain things that can align with conservatives, but he doesn't openly like I view certain things that align with conservatives, but I wouldn't come out and say I'm a conservative because there's also certain things that I don't align with. I'm just me and I just think about each issue individually. Has he said, "Hey, I'm Kanye West and I'm a conservative," or do you see some of his values and align him with someone who would say they are actually a conservative? Stephen A. says, okay, maybe sometimes have bad day and fall back to my old ways. You feel big now, you feel better because you don't do it. You must have some low self-esteem to need to validate yourself through someone else's failures. I don't get that. Trevor didn't say one word wrong in his Kanye critic. Like, I don't think he said nothing bad. Like he didn't like disrespect them or nothing, whatever. It was more like, hey, I'm looking at this situation and I'm gonna, landscape it how I see it. He's been calling him a coon, but Ye can't call him a coon. Trevor Noah, like I'm not saying Trevor Noah never called him a coon, but you have video footage of Trevor Noah actually calling Kanye a coon? Send it to me on Instagram. Like I said, I'm not saying he never called him that, but if he said it, don't just be saying stuff, Vicky, to defend Kanye. Let me see where he called it. Not just he's insinuating coon-like behavior, which, like I said, I think black people should be able to disagree with that, one being a coon and one not being a coon. But, you know, that's just the spectrum. When people like the drama, they like the attack, they like the words. But, because I'm looking up right now, and obviously right now, I guess all I would see is Kanye calling him one. But I'm looking it up, I don't see it. Kanye is a conservative speech and liberal in actions. We all need to see that. That's prime TV right there if it happened. I'm guessing Mr. Stephen A. must have dibbled and dabbled in the cocaine. I don't know. But anyways, like I said, I appreciate y'all guys for rocking, man. Vicky, if you can find the video of him actually calling him that, I'll play it on the live stream tomorrow. Me and Bryce, Absolute Sure Podcast, we back tomorrow with topics, discussions. It's not a versus tomorrow. It's going to be a podcast, me and Bryce. I appreciate you guys for watching, listening. Make sure y'all follow me on social media at DFriendDaily. And also DFriend Senior for my personal page. Kanye didn't directly call him a coon. Excuse me. Stephen A. must sniff the powder. Why y'all get on Stephen A. like that, man? I mean, but like, Vicky, I know you are a person who, you know, you think for yourself, you do all these things. Kanye is essentially calling him a coon. Like, we don't even gotta, come on. The title's all in together now. Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya, kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya, oh lord, yeah, he didn't say, Trevor Noah, you are a coon. But he's throwing that word into let's stop it. I know you love Kanye. I know it, but with him, we got to have something, like, come on, dog. We know what he was doing. Now, you said Trevor Noah called him that, so I would need to see, I got to see that. I just want to see it. And if he did, he did. Y'all want to attack me and my flaws and laugh at my bumps on road. Weight of your mistakes was nationalized for the world. Hey, Stephen A., man, if you going through something, big dog, prayers up to you. I ain't going to bash you on it. I ain't going to do that to you. If you went down a path where, life's knocked you down, hope you get picked up, my brother. Now, unless you're just trolling and, you're just talking, just be talking, that's another story. But anyways, like I said, I'm out of here. We'll be back. Absolute Sure Podcast tomorrow. You can watch this show here, watch the clips later. You can SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes. That's what I want y'all to do. After the show's over, just for me. Y'all, if y'all fuck with me, fuck with me. Go to Spotify, SoundCloud, wherever y'all listen to y'all podcasts, iTunes, search up DFriend Daily. Just subscribe and give it a rating. You ain't got to even listen to it every time on air, but just do that for me for the algorithms. Just do that for me. Like I said, Stephen A. Smith. I don't know if you're trolling as Stephen A. Smith or you speaking for yourself. If you really got that shit going on, salute to you. If this is just part of the troll, hey, we don't give a fuck. I'll see you guys next time, man. It's your boy D Friend. Peace.